The first stop on the tour is the Jacksonville Landing. Gary Sass, one tour guide, says it's the middle of downtown and one of the most defining features. When Gary Sass first came to Jacksonville, he wanted to get to know the city, but he realized there were no tours. That's when he started his own touring business.
Everyone should know about, especially locals, everyone should know about the heritage of the city that they live in. And it's the heritage that really defines what this city is. That's really what our identity is as a city.
His wife, Susan Sass, helps run the Adlib Luxury Tours business by giving the top-to-bottom walking tour. Sass explains that the St. Johns River was used to transport cattle near this area, which is the narrowest point on the river. But people didn't want to name the city Cowford because it didn't sound very appealing. So they named it after the current General Andrew Jackson. The next stop is the 42nd floor of the Bank of America building. This is the tallest building in Jacksonville and overlooks many of the city's defining features, including Everbank Field, Veterans Memorial Arena, and the Hart Bridge.
The top-to-bottom walking tour didn't get its name randomly. The tour explores Jacksonville's history from the top all the way to the very bottom. The top is the 42nd floor of the Bank of America building, and the bottom is an underground vault.
And that was the next stop. 121 Atlantic Place used to be known as the Atlantic National Bank. It has an abandoned underground vault that is only open for Adlib Luxury Tours. The Greenleaf and Crosby building was the next stop on the tour. Sass explained the building is unique because half of it has 12 stories, while the other half only has 6, because the architects just never got around to it. The tour stopped at the Visitors Center for a break in a short silent movie that was produced in the early 1900s when Jacksonville was the location of many film studios.
Well, I think a lot of people that move here aren't aware of that because it was almost 100 years ago.
Ron Whittington is the corporate communications manager at the Visitors Center. He believes the most interesting aspect of the old film industry is its influential role in portraying African Americans.
There was a producer, one of the first producers, using all black casts, and what was significant about that at the time was he was not doing films that were stereotypical of blacks in that era. They were non-stereotypical stories, unlike the things we saw later in Hollywood in the 30s and 40s and things like that.
Sass points out that the Carling is an old, luxurious hotel that has since been remodeled into an apartment building after the Great Fire in 1901. The Florida Theater was also a tour highlight. Sass emphasized both the unique architecture and the interesting history. She says that the Florida Theater hosted many celebrities, including Elvis Presley, Beach Boys, and Queens of the Stone Age. Finally, the tour ends at the Wells Fargo building, originally the Independent Life building. In 1974, the building was the tallest in Florida. Kim Hanshi has lived here for 10 years. She came to the tour out of curiosity for the city she's lived in for so long.
I think that's kind of a shame to live somewhere for 10 years and not even to be able to say anything about the downtown or anything. So it's important, I think, for people to understand where they live and where they come from.